Well, tough shooting for both Wisconsin and Xavier. Badgers up early 5-2 on the Musketeers. And who didn't belong? This was a great debate after Selection Sunday, Bob. Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona. A few raised eyebrows on all three of those selections.
Well, that one thing is getting into the tournament. That's totally separate from playing in the tournament. And as you can see, these teams also won a game in the tournament. And Utah, of course, Arizona still playing. So, you know, Bo Ryan is very wise in the ways of the NCAA tournament and in scheduling as well.
Freeze with one more, just 48% from the line. Bob, defense, a big storyline here to start. Wisconsin 2 of 6. Xavier just one of their first 6 shots, 17%.
Freeze is the only guy who has scored any points so far for Xavier, and he's a guy who comes off the bench. Two things happen with Wisconsin. They take so long to shoot that you have a tendency to rush when you do get the basketball. And then at the defensive end, they collapse and they help, especially in the paint area.
Hughes off to Krabenhoff. Bohannon. Great D. Redford right on his back. That shot was rejected back out front. Nankiville, 5 on the shot, down to 4. Landry has it on the block. The follow-away, Jay missed it all. And Freeze takes it down. Here's Brown. Quick first step. Tried to feed it inside, and Landry stepped in front of the pass. Ball is loose. Landry picks it up. Nearly 6 minutes in to the second round game in Boise. Nankiville rims it out, and here comes Xavier. Derek Brown on the run, the junior from Dayton. Well, just nothing, Bob, down the lane right now. Wisconsin just collapsing the paint.
They clog it very, very well. The guy guarding the ball always helps side, very much available with them. And they block out pretty well. Xavier's a team that goes to the offensive board strongly. Right now, Redford, number 12, is an outside shooter in the game.
Holloway finds some room, stops and goes. There's a follow-away, hierarchy choker. That brought rain and thunder.
Over the 6'10" player, smallest guy on the floor.
Holloway, a 6-footer. Freshman out of New York. And we're tied at 5.
Wisconsin makes perimeter guys guard the inside and the outside. They make big guys play on the outside and the inside because of their swing offense. Everybody plays every single position, so difficult for the defense.
Nankiville, Bob, off the bench, has missed his first 3 shots after pumping down 14 in that first round win against Florida State. McLean had a nice look, rebound Badgers, and now a little bump and a foul whistled on Derek Brown. And coming up still on CBS, stay tuned for those of you in the Midwest waiting to watch Cleveland State take on Arizona. That tip-off come up at 2:47 Eastern Time, and then followed by Oklahoma State and Pittsburgh.
Remember earlier in the year, Cleveland State beat Syracuse on a 70-foot shot from 3-quarter court. So their magic is still alive.
Nankiville out front. Up to Jordan Taylor, who's checked in for Wisconsin.
A lot of squeaking sneakers out here right now. That's the sign of excellent defense.
10 on the shot clock at 9. Out front. Lure puts it on the floor, lost it, and the chase is on. Picked up, shot clocked at 2 to 1. Bohannon! Oh, try to bank that one right off the window. Anderson comes back for Xavier. Derek Brown in the corner and a foul.
Well, Taylor is known for his defense. The freshman, Mr. Minnesota basketball, played a vital role in the game last night for Bo Ryan. He is an excellent defensive player, stays in his stance right here. Pretty good. You notice that he didn't jump up in the air on the pump fake. This is a knowledgeable defensive player. They went with 3 guards at the end of the game against Florida State, and that's what won them the game.
And Bob, what was impressive is that Bo Ryan went with this young freshman for 25 minutes. And Raymond from downtown
Well, he's their best outside shooter. Last year against West Virginia, he drained 2 to let them advance to the Elite Eight. Very, very confident shooter is Mr. Raymond.
Xavier after a slow start, now up by 3 as we roll up on 11 minutes to play in the first half. And there's a whistle on the floor and a timeout.
B.J. Raymond from deep. This is a frequent occurrence for the Musketeers.
Xavier leads Wisconsin 8-5. Round 2 here in Boise. And NCAA March Madness On Demand is streaming every game from the NCAA Championship online for free. Watch any game from the tournament live at ncaa.com.
Craig, interesting thing about these two teams, they both are excellent at cutting off the paint and not allowing inside shots. They do it differently, but both accomplish that task. They build their defense from the inside out, which makes me think that the team that shoots the best from three-point range is going to have the better chance to win this game. Both of them shot 9 and 8 respectively. Wisconsin and Xavier makes in the first round.
And thus far, Wisconsin 1 of 2 from downtown. Xavier 1 of 1. Boy, Wisconsin really struggling, though. About 2 of 11 from the floor. They missed their last 5 shots. Bohannon. Nankivell hands it right back to the sharpshooter from outside. And again, the clock is down to 6. And a foul on the drive. Jackson whistled. Dante picks up his first.
Well, he's smiling about it. He didn't think that was a foul at all. Moved his feet pretty well. The shot clock is getting under 5 quite a lot in this game so far. Little bump there. This guy's a great defensive player. You know, when you think about the guards, the starting guards, 6'5" and 6'6" for Xavier. That's some length, baby.
Hughes and Krabenhoff back on the court for Wisconsin. Fresh shot clock for the Badgers. And Trayvon Hughes looking for help. The cutter lobs it down. Takes it right back from Nankivell. And the dribble drive by Hughes. And he'll get to the free throw line.
No easy shots in this game anywhere in the lane. The other thing we should mention about the play of both of these teams in their first games, single-digit turnovers for both of them. Excellent ball handling teams.
Jason Love picks up the foul, his first, and Hughes is at the line.
How about his heroics the other night, huh? Trayvon Hughes makes a three-point play the old-fashioned way for the victory for the Badgers, being guarded by Tony Douglas, the Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC.
Ended up with 10 points and 4 assists and on the board with a couple of free throws. How about Wisconsin? You know, to get back on your point, they've turned the ball over 10 or fewer times in 22 games this season.
Yeah.
I mean, that's discipline. Love had a shot dead on and popped it right over the rim.
That was an air ball from 2 feet. That's the mental anguish that Wisconsin puts on you.
Landry working off. Oh, reversed it baseline. Landry with 4 points, 2 buckets. Jackson backs it out. Wisconsin up by 1.
Well, Landry is a guy who knows the geography of the paint. The pump fake, going to use the rim to keep Love from blocking that shot. Because he's smaller, this is a very, very intelligent play by the father of 3. How about that? His kids cheering for him watching.
Married and a father of 3 in college, playing hoops, second round on the big stage of the tournament, huh?
I'll tell you what, he's taking the kids to zoo rather than worrying about Facebook or anything like that.
Exactly. Oh, the simple days. McLean inside. Oh, and he popped the dust off the rim.
And it has been dusty. Not a lot of baskets going through so far at that end, huh?
Landry thought about pulling the trigger from behind the line. Oh, dribbled it right off his ankle. And that ball is out of bounds, and the Badgers will have control.
The pass, the clear path to the basket if you can jump that high. McLean doing a nice job right here, and an excellent pass by Raymond. You don't get many of those against Wisconsin. That guy's got some hops, huh?
Well, look at the intensity of Sean Miller. 12-4 during the regular season Atlantic 10 schedule. Won the regular season championship.
How about their non-conference? Beat Memphis, beat Missouri, beat LSU. Pretty good.
That's why they're a 4 seed.
Yeah.
Outside the conference. Naperville wide open.
He can make that shot. That's his best thing. Screen somebody, pop to the perimeter, knock in the J.
Xavier started 0 for 5 from the floor. They've hit 4 of their last 6. Brown, good look. Bang it off the back of the iron, and the rebound falls into the hands of Landry.
Boy, Wisconsin makes you work on defense. However, Xavier loves to work on defense.
Penetration and a kick out. Bohannon.
Look at this switch. Wow. That is impressive D right there, my friend. That was an open shot that almost turned into a turnover.
That comes Xavier. Winding up with the left hand. Right down the barrel is Derek Brown.
Xavier shoots 40% from three-point range on the course of the season. A lot of people don't talk about that because they're so impressed with their defense and rebounding, but these guys are accurate.
Xavier's hit 2 of 2 from downtown, up by 2. Naperville had a great-looking shot inside, tried to shake off Freeze, but I think Freeze froze him. Another 3 shot up on the way. Rebound. Xavier has a fresh clock. From deep, Brown, yes.
Again, this was a guy who couldn't make a jump shot past 12 feet his freshman year. Now he drains them with regularity from deep.
Timeout, 8:18 to play. First half in Boise. Xavier by 5. Derek Brown's three-point shooting has lifted Xavier on top of Wisconsin by 5. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Greg Gumbel, Greg Anthony, and Seth Davis will take you out for a live look at all the action going on in the tournament, and they will get you caught up on all the latest tournament news. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half.
Well, so far, Xavier is 3 of 11 in the paint area because Wisconsin's so tough defensively there, but 3 of 4 from outside.
So, Bob, what Sean Miller is saying, if you can't get it inside, let's take that ball outside and shoot it downtown. Trayvon Hughes penetrates the paint. He'll put up a tough shot with a left hand. Rebound, Bohannon. Timeout, 7:53 to play. Back to Boise after this.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the Men's Basketball Championship is sponsored by Miller Lite, Quiznos, The Hartford, and by Chevy.
Big welcome back to Boise, Idaho. Snow in the mountains, a little rain here in the valley, and you look at the game summary. Xavier up by 5. Field goals tough to come by. 3-point shooting, Bob, as you mentioned, could be the storyline of this game.
I think it will be the storyline of the game. The passing has been beautiful in the first half by both teams. Right here, Freeze, the recipient on a Holloway pass, and then right here, the dunk right here by McLean on the pass from B.J. Raymond, and Brown has hit 2 very deep threes. They are 3 for 4, and they have 5 assists on their 6 field goals. Very good passing.
Wisconsin, after that whistle, there was a reset on the shot clock, and the Badgers with possession. The shot is off, and here comes the Musketeers. In traffic, Anderson pushes that ball. Landry, great recovery, and swats that ball away.
You talk about help side defense. These guys are drilled in that particular area of the game.
Relentless. Landry wants that ball up high. Faces the basket, 22 on the shot clock. Puts it on the floor, has a little room, and you know what? He hops. One time too many, turned it over.
Landry is much more aggressive in this game than he was 2 days ago. He did have 10 points in that game, but in the first half was not looking to go very much. He's an important offensive player for them. They've isolated him in this game, tried to get him off a little bit.
Turnovers even now at 2 apiece as Anderson puts down his shoulder in the lane and a whistle baseline.
There have been a lot of fouls called on guys with the dribble. Their defenders holding them, pushing them off with their forearms. Technique used by Bo Ryan and Sean Miller. Officials calling a lot of those kind of fouls in this one so far.
And that one whistled on 24. Tim Jarmus of Wisconsin back inside. Derek Brown rolls it off. Love battling, and a jump ball will be the call. Hughes and Love. And possession to Wisconsin.
5 red jerseys in the paint when Love got that offensive rebound, and they gain a possession this way.
7 minutes to play first half. Low scoring, tough defensive battle here in Boise. And another whistle. Contact as Bohannon trying to turn the corner. And Love picks up number 2.
Well, Freeze and Love have been alternating the center position right here. Love going to get a seat. In the game against Portland State, he was not that much of a factor because Portland State was such a small team.
Only took 1 shot, but had 8 rebounds. But yeah, offensively, was not an X factor.
Right, and normally he is, and you would think in this game he would be because Wisconsin is a big team as well.
Jackson denying the ball. On the dribble drive, Bohannon gives it up in the corner. Oh, right down the middle. Lure finally finds the range. 0 for 7 in round 1 and hits the 3 ball.
Bohannon's got some deceptive speed. I'll tell you what, this guy has very good quickness, especially on his first step. He's wearing a black wrap around his right calf. He got kicked in the game the other night. We're told that it's not bothering him too much. Precautionary.
Holloway picked up by Trayvon Hughes as we roll up on 6 minutes to play in the first half. Brown holds, and the cutter was just off the hands nearly of B.J. Raymond. Shot clock to 5. Drive, hang it up, count it. Nope, take it away. Turnover, traveling the call, and Wisconsin will get it back. That call was made out front here as Raymond made his move to the hoop. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't know. That's not no travel at all. That's a perplexing call right there. Got bumped also. I didn't see any travel there.
Wisconsin with the ball down by 2. In and out. Another whistle. Both these teams fighting for every loose ball. Where will you hear the president answer the toughest questions about his new economic proposals? Well, where else but on 60 Minutes tonight here on CBS.
These teams both want to win so badly, and they both want to play defense so hard, it's turning into a foul fest right now. Anybody who gets his shoulders going toward the basket gets a push.
That last whistle was on Trayvon Hughes, his first. It's out of bounds off Wisconsin. 23 in the shot for Xavier. Musketeers by 2. Brown has hit a pair of 3s. B.J. Raymond has hit 1 from downtown. Bohannon and Lure have hit 3s for Wisconsin, and just simply a bad pass and a turnover.
Holloway was cutting, and Jackson made the pass, but Holloway stopped. Holloway should have continued to go. Nice vision right here. Notice how he stopped right there. Could have been a reception.
5th turnover committed by Xavier. Out front, Landry.
Notice the switching defense.
Nice save by Bohannon. Left-hand scooper. Bouncing off. And Freeze hustles and rebounds and clears that ball out to Holloway.
I didn't know Bohannon had that left floater.
It nearly went down. Another 3 on the way. Bangs off the rim. Out of bounds, and Wisconsin will have it. Substitutions now for the Musketeers. C.J. Anderson back in, and Brad Redford will check in for Sean Miller. And also Jordan Taylor on the court for the Badgers. And also Naperville. So Bob, you talked in round 1 about we are at an altitude here in Boise, Idaho. All the schools have really substituted very freely.
Yes, and part of it is the altitude, and part in this game, I think, Craig, is the effort displayed on each possession defensively. You got to maintain your stance. That wears you out. No resting at the defensive end for these teams at all.
On the perimeter works Wisconsin. There's a slider up and in. Trayvon Hughes. Love fills up the lane and a whistle.
Well, Trayvon Hughes has got quickness, and he can take the ball to the basket. Notice how he posts up there, and then he gets the swing pass. This is the swing offense. Everybody's away from the basket. There's no help here. Anderson only a little reach, and as a result, Hughes can go. The other thing that makes that work right there for him is that Taylor is in the game right now. Taylor comes in and plays the point. Let's Trayvon Hughes play the two guard a little bit.
Love is 78% free throw shooter. Good form for the big fella. Knocks it down. First point of this game. Love, a junior out of Philadelphia. One more, holds and hits.
Boy, he's got nice form, doesn't he? Big guys sometimes don't shoot well from the free throw line. What is he, Craig?
78% and hits 2, and Xavier back on top by 2. Coming up on 4 minutes to play, first half. Nakerville. On the lob, down low. Lure. Tried to lure in his defender and puts up the shot. Did they give a foul off to McLean? And indeed, McLean picks up his first.
Height disadvantage for McLean guarding Lure in that situation. 6'10" against 6'7". Lure was an intelligent player on there. There was no double team coming. He kept the dribble.
Falls off the front of the rim. You know, Lure's an interesting story. He's on a Long Lake, Minnesota. And in high school, like a lot of kids, you grow a few inches. But Lure goes from a guard to center in a matter of a couple of years. He grew 10 inches in high school.
Man. And you know, the good thing about that, of course, is he was playing a guard position, so his ball handling skills carry over. Not bad, huh?
Only a sophomore. Drops down to second at 2, and it's a 1-point Xavier lead. Under 4 to go. First half. Brown takes the ball from Love. Working on the perimeter again. Jackson over the top. Brown spinning, hanging, left-hand shot, pumps it up short. Anderson there for the rebound. Short again. One more time.
Boy, you talk about stick-to-itiveness on the offensive boards. C.J. Anderson showed it to us there.
Cleveland State 9-6.
And back in Boise, 3:39 to play in the first half. Tight game, defensive game. Craig Buller, Jack Bob Wenzel, our CBS crew. 18-17 Xavier. You know, you look at the numbers here, Bob. I mean, this is just an even ball game. Wisconsin 6 of 21. Xavier 6 of 20. 3 of 5 for the Musketeers from behind the 3 line. Wisconsin has hit 2 of 4. The only difference maybe is Xavier with a 5 rebound advantage.
The three-point shooting, Craig, I've said this before, is going to be very, very important in this game. And the reason for that is both of these coaches are excellent at taking away the paint plays, either drives or post-ups, even second shots, drives from the strong side to the weak side. There's always help. Both of these are excellent defensive teams. They're going to take that away, and then you're going to have to hit some perimeter shots.
Free throws by Anderson. Put Xavier on top by 3 as we hit the 3:30 mark in the first half here in Boise. Landry, big move, puts it up against a big fella and hits it over Freeze.
He is so much more aggressive in this game than he was 2 days ago. It's incredible. They have isolated him. No double teams against Landry so far. Sean Miller might have to change that.
Badger on the floor and a foul. Kenny Freeze wiping away Landry.
Well, both big men with 2 personal fouls, Freeze and Love for Xavier. But Xavier can go small and have McLean play in the middle. That adds to their bounce.
McLean has played, Bob, in all 34 games for Sean Miller. Transferred out of Tulsa. A sophomore from Hampton, Virginia, back on the court as Landry is the go-to guy right now for the Badgers, and he has the hot hand.
They got to double him.
Touch.
They got to double him right now. I mean, they're going to him every possession, which is what Wisconsin should do. He gets that one bump, and once he gets into the lane, there's no traffic. He can do whatever he wants.
8 points for Landry on 3 of 4 shooting. Little spinner down the baseline goes Jackson. Tough shot, put it up, maybe too wide open as he worked his way open on the baseline. And Landry gets with the rebound.
Yeah, three-guard lineup also right in the game right now for Wisconsin. Trayvon Hughes gets to play the two, doesn't have to handle the ball all the time.
Landry again.
There's the double for the first time.
Throws that ball, clears it away. Taylor now back to Landry on the block.
They've isolated him. They want him to go every time.
Hanging on the pivot, tough shot over the top. Krabbenhoff with the catch. And out of bounds.
Well, the difference in defense is very apparent. First, no double team. Impossible to stop. He's got a great jump hook shot. Twice in a row he did that. Now this time, the double comes. He puts the ball on the floor. Somebody's there. He's got to give it up and a turnover. Excellent defense by Xavier. Nice adjustment by Sean Miller.
Krabbenhoff had those big size 15s out of bounds on the sideline. Under 2 to play. That ball's off the hands of Raymond. Wisconsin with the ball and up by 1. Spinning, hanging, tough shot, left hand, and a foul. Brown puts the hammer down. And to the free throw line will go Trayvon Hughes.
Hughes caught them off guard. Wisconsin very rarely blows right to the basket at the beginning of the shot clock. Xavier fell asleep on that one, which is a rarity for them.
Hughes, 10 points, 4 assists in 39 minutes. And that overtime win against Florida State on Friday. And CBSSports.com is your destination for up-to-the-minute NCAA tournament coverage, real-time scoring, expert analysis, and video highlights from every game at CBSSports.com. One more for Hughes. Hometown, Queens, New York. And a 6-point half. Bob, Xavier has missed their last 6 shots, down 3.
Yeah, and you know, they're rushing right now. I mean, they're trying to get an open, you get a very rare open look. So when they get it in there, they've missed 2 easy shots.
Offensive.
I don't get it.
I got to question that one myself. Love, contact, and a 260. Muscled it over Marcus Landry. That's 3 fouls on Jason Love. Wisconsin into the front court. Bohannon hit a 3 early. Landry's been the big man for the Badgers here, Bob, in the first half. Bohannon comes off straight away.
What you can see here, one guy is in the post at all times. The other 4 are on the perimeter. And as a result, very difficult to come down and double team on this team. Right here, the shake and bake move. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of contact going on around here. But that left-handed inside-out move by Hughes, very, very difficult to defend against.
Well, he's living at the line, tough from the floor, 1 of 6. Just hit 2 from the line, and right back at it is Hughes.
Xavier's been a little bit impatient the last few possessions at their offensive end. They're not getting the kind of quality shots that they would like, and as a result, Wisconsin's going to have a 5-point lead here.
6 for 6 from the line for Hughes. 8-point first half. Landry with 8 to lead Wisconsin. As we hit the 1-minute mark here in Boise first half, Badgers by 5. Xavier's gone really stone cold, Bob, the last 5-6 minutes. Holloway out behind the 3-point line. He'll wind up deep, hangs it up, and hits. What a big shot.
Well, that's a tough one and an important one. One bounce to the left and the backup 3.
Crossover dribble. Hughes goes baseline, whistle. And another foul on Holloway.
Well, that time and the last time, he didn't get his feet in front of Trayvon Hughes. And obviously, Hughes feels like he can take Holloway. He's done it the last couple of times off the dribble. You know, he was going up toward the free throw line, and that's why the call was not made in Holloway's favor.
2 on Holloway, and back to the line is Hughes. Trayvon, 9 points. And right now, free throw's his best friend.
And he's a wise player. You know, he realizes he's not scoring from the outside, so he's trying to put the ball on the floor. He realizes the officials are calling those fouls a lot in this game. So a very experienced player.
And for the second straight game, Hughes has scored in double figures. 10 in the overtime win against the Seminoles, and 10 here in the first half against Xavier. Timeout. We'll be back to Boise after this on CBS. "33 seconds of play in this opening half. Second round game between Wisconsin and Xavier. The Badgers on top by 4.
Well, first half field goals, first round and today, considerable difference as you can see. Of course, Portland State is not nearly as good a team as Wisconsin, especially clogging the middle area, which is where Sean Miller's team likes to go. They love the dribble to the paint, and it's been taken away from them.
Defense the key, Bob. Again, Wisconsin 35% from the floor in the first half. Xavier 32.
Key thing here is Xavier has the ball now, and they have the ball to start the second half. So they could score conceivably twice without Wisconsin touching the ball.
Terrell Holloway. 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Over the top. Oh, what a tough catch. Brought down by Derek Brown. Hits it. Oh! Brown with 8.
Brown turned a turnover into a basket. What a terrific play by that guy.
Hughes nearly knocked it down at the buzzer. We're at the break. Wisconsin 27, Xavier 25. And we'll send you to Great Gumbel with AT&T at the half. After these messages, you're watching CBS Sports, exclusive home of the men's NCAA basketball championship.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the men's basketball championship is sponsored by Bud Light, Windows, Charles Schwab, and by Pontiac.
Wisconsin is 19-3 when leading at the half, and the Badgers on a 2-point lead on Xavier here at halftime in Boise. Craig Bullerjack, Bob Wenzel, our CBS crew. Hope you enjoyed the first half here on CBS. Physical and a defensive battle in the first half of play.
Oh, it really was. And what you would expect. Everybody's taking care of the lane, forcing people to shoot from the outside. The game's being refereed closely, so getting to the free throw line, very, very important.
Let's take a look at the in-game box score, powered by CBS College Sports Network, cable's home for NCAA March Madness.
Well, Trayvon Hughes has got 10 points, but only 1 of 7. He's got 8 of 8 from the free throw line. Derek Brown made a play at the end of the half. The ball looked like it was going out of the building. He caught it and made it. But Marcus Landry, the interior player, the leading scorer, has done a lot of damage in the first half in the post. Good mid-distance shooter. He faces up. And then against a bigger player, watch how he backs in. No double team. The jump hook over a bigger guy. Very, very effective. And then watch how he uses the rim to protect against the shot block against the bigger guy. Marcus Landry, 4 of 5 with 8 points. He has done a lot of good work in the first half.
He sure has. 4 rebounds. Also, what I like, a block and a steal in 17 minutes on the court.
Yeah, did a great, great job. And, of course, late in the half, they double-teamed him. They need to do that or he will be very, very effective.
Bob, you mentioned that Xavier had the ball to end the half. They opened the second half with the ball, and they could tie it with a bucket. Oh, Anderson tipped it in, and it comes off the rim. Landry grabs his 5th rebound. Boy, Xavier missed not 1, but 2 great opportunities to tie this ball game up. Out front, Landry. On the wing, Trayvon Hughes lived at the line in the first half. 8 for 8 from the free throw line, but yet just 1 of 7 from the floor.
He did a smart job. He knew it was being called tightly on the dribble drive, and he continued to do it, as he does right here.
Slides in and kicks it right back out. Shot clock down to 7. Hughes has the ball in his hands with 5, with 4, down to 3. The baseline opens up. Jack knifes it in, and a foul.
Simple as that, he says. Very, very nice shot. Watch the cleared area under the basket on the left-hand side. Nobody there, and of course, everybody coming late. Nice use of the left hand. Look at his vision right here. He sees where the people are, uses the hesitation dribble, a little English off the backboard. This is an educated guard you're watching here, Mr. Hughes.
And a miss, his first of this game from the line. That stops the streak at 8 in a row. That foul, by the way, Derek Brown's third. Love has 3 as well for Xavier. And foul trouble could be an issue for the Musketeers.
Indeed, and the other issue is turnovers. 8 turnovers in the first half by Xavier, only 3 by Wisconsin. That gives you 5 extra possessions, and this is going to be a possession-for-possession game.
Bob, that may have been the fastest shot Wisconsin put up so far.
Yeah, indeed. That is very unlike them.
I looked up, and Landry had 23 on the shot, and he let it fly. There's a tough skip pass inside, and Raymond is tied up.
Early fouls before a guy can possibly make the shot is the order of the day in this one. Both teams fouling early when guys get into a bad position. Make you make it from the free throw line, where this guy is excellent.
So Krabbenhoff picks up his third foul. So he's in foul trouble for Wisconsin. B.J. Raymond.
Lean back on that one a little bit. Normally very reliable at 80% is B.J. Raymond.
So Krabbenhoff goes out, and Tim Jarmus in. Krabbenhoff was the guy that gave a halftime speech down 12 to rally the Badgers in that first round win over Florida State.
Yeah, only 3 points, but a nice speech got them going, huh? That counts for a lot. Krabbenhoff, very unusual guy. 750 rebounds, 250 assists. Very unusual for a guy to rebound and assist that much.
Raymond makes 1 of 2. 29-26 Badgers. Landry with the basketball, 20 on the shot clock. Turns the corner, lowers that left shoulder, up and in off the glass. Boy, the bag of tricks. He's got the jumper. He can roll you inside and score.
He was quiet 2 nights ago. I think Bo Ryan talked to him about adding a little bit.
Oh, the dump down Love. Like to have that shot back. Missed the jam down, and it goes out of bounds off Xavier.
Xavier has missed a dunk and a wide open layup in their first 3 possessions and a half.
0 for 4 to start the second half. Xavier really struggling, and Bob, for Love, that is a give-me bucket.
Yeah, this reminds me of the Florida State game the other night. 13-0 to start the second half with the Badgers. Bohannon's been quiet, huh? They defended him well.
Slides it down on the baseline. 8 on the shot clock. Out front, Hughes. Around the screen by Lure. Oh, in traffic floater. Oh, it caught the rim and drops down. Wisconsin has come out of the gate to open up a 33-26 lead on Xavier. Let's take you back Friday night against Florida State. Trayvon Hughes banked in a twisting shot over Florida State's defense with 2 seconds left in overtime to lift the Badgers to a 61-59 win in the first round. And today, Bob, he has not let up.
He has taken the ball to the basket with authority, finding his way. The same twisting move. That is not a replay. That is today's. Great numbers on the year. Great numbers today. 14, way over his average. He's feeling it.
8 for 8 free throws in the first half. Now he's dropped down a couple of key buckets in the early going of the second half. Nearly 3 minutes in. Raymond gives it off.
Notice how they don't have to guard Love far away from the basket. That way they can triple team somebody on the drive. Look at the red shirts coming to the basketball.
Suffocating, but Raymond.
Talent. Talent. B.J. Raymond last year, big shots against West Virginia to get them to the Elite 8.
And a first-team All-Atlantic 10 pick. This season averages over 14 points a game. On the board with 6. Love trying to block the baseline of Landry. Offensive, and Love sold it, and sold it well.
Well, he got caught for one of those in the first half, so a little turnaround is fair play. Last year, B.J. Raymond, top of the key, nothing but bottom. Time winding down. He's on the weak side. Look at his catch. Off a bounce pass, catch and shoot. Are you kidding me? What a play and player.
Love out front. Nearly 4 minutes in, second half. On the dribble drive, Brown spinning, hanging, puts up the shot, trying to follow, and that ball is wrestled away. And a big rebound by Lure.
A lot of times, Brown would get a second shot on that. You know, he'd miss and then bounce up and get it again. But they put their body on you on those shots. Bohannon's been quiet.
Red hot in the second half of that win, trying to spin it.
Jackson's a great defender.
And now Xavier trying to pick up the tempo a bit. Driving, ball is up. And a foul. Coming back to Boise. Count that bucket and a free throw to come when we come back. Well, Xavier knows their way around the tournament. Indeed, Xavier made the Elite Eight in 2004, 2008, and 04 to beat Texas in the Sweet 16. And a year ago, they beat West Virginia in overtime, 79-75. This is a veteran team of some very big games.
And they scheduled big time, very ambitious this year. Beat Memphis, beat Missouri, beat LSU, and then Duke and Butler were losses. But that's why Sean Miller's team is a number 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. This Atlanta 10 team plays tight in their league and then big time outside their league as well.
Anderson hit the bucket as we went to break and cannot complete the three-point play. Landry reaches in and clears away for the Badgers. 33-30 Wisconsin.
We should mention Romain Sato was the chief architect of that 2004, and of course Josh Duncan last year was very, very good for the Musketeers.
Over the top, Landry, the catch by Hughes, and Freeze batted that ball back over to Raymond and a quick whistle.
Trayvon Hughes did something very interesting there. He took a three-point shot, missed it, followed his own shot, which you don't want a point guard to do. He realized that they were going to have a break long, so he fouled right away. This guy's an intelligent player, does a lot of very smart things out there on the floor.
And Hughes hits the bench with a second foul, 14 points on the afternoon, and Jordan Taylor, the freshman, will check in at the point for Bo Ryan.
Yeah, and he's a solid defensive player, beyond his years defense.
Now, Bo's got a lot of confidence in this young kid. Went 25 minutes against Florida State in that first-round game on Friday. Landry picks it up. Turnover, Xavier.
And he ended up guarding Tony Douglas, the great offensive player from Florida State.
Nankivell on the court. Bohannon hit an early three. And as you mentioned, Bob, quiet ever since. Oh, Landry took that ball right away from Grabenhoff. There's Bohannon. Has a look. Off the rim. Underneath the loose ball. Xavier has it. And Anderson was able to fight off Landry. Little flip behind his back to Holloway, and they'll reset. On the shot. Raymond, McLean, dish down, try to feed it to Freeze, got it right back. Now Raymond spins into the paint, squares up, and hits. That's a tough shot. That's a tough shot.
Right. That is a strong move by a 6'6" guard.
First team All-Atlantic 10, hit 13 points. And that win against Portland State. That is a beauty. 8 for Raymond. And Raymond on the other side grabs a rebound. And the big fella wants to rumble across into front court. Hands it off to McLean. Wisconsin hanging on now by 1. Holloway at the free throw line. Inside, shot is off the rim, and the battle for the rebound, it's out of bounds. And last touch by Wisconsin.
You talk about a very good one-on-one player. That is B.J. Raymond. He's guarded nicely, uses the pump fake, hesitation dribble, and then clears the defense, and he hits nothing but bottom on that one. You try to guard this guy, 2 guys on him, nice rotation. He knows where he is on the floor.
And Bo Ryan, how about this? He takes out Grabenhoff, takes out his 6'7" big man, and brings Trayvon Hughes back on the court. This is a small lineup right now, minus Nankivell on the court for Wisconsin.
This is the lineup that won the game for them last night. 3-guard lineup.
Scramble, the scrum.
Wisconsin grabbed a timeout. You talk about teams that want it badly. There is defense going on in Boise.
Alrighty. Nice. Well, Bob, big news here in Boise. Dominic James expected to play for Marquette today. One of your favorite players around the country. Let's check out the Big Ten so far, 5-4. Atlantic 10 is 2-1. Talk about James and the impact he could have today.
Well, in some ways, it's like Ty Lawson. He's a shifty guard who gets to the paint, helps everybody else get better percentage shots. On the other hand, he's been out for nearly 4 weeks. Won't have the kind of stamina you need to play. Buzz Williams will probably use him 3 or 4 minutes here, 3 or 4 minutes there, but that's better than not having him at all, believe me.
Did get a full practice in yesterday, but you're right. What about the win? That's going to be interesting to see. And the minutes he'll be able to go today. Landry, little jump hook off the rim, battle for the rebound, and again, everybody white and red jerseys always converging on the ball.
Both of these teams have players who have nose for the basketball. You do not frequently see anybody standing around when the ball is loose. 10 guys are after it.
Hey, if you're standing, you're going to go to the bench.
If you're standing, you're sitting there.
Bo Ryan coaching, no way. It's a constant movement on the court. Anderson, quick first step. Hands it back. Holloway wants 3 deep. Hangs it up short. And a rebound, Naperville. To the front court comes Trayvon Hughes. What a game, 14 points. He was dead on from the free throw line of the first half. Now he's taken his game to a different level.
C.J. Anderson is having to guard a guard right here, and he's normally guarding post people.
Got some help D-Bob by Freeze, and that altered that shot. Xavier now trying to run it down the court, and there's a 3-point bucket and a big shot by Dante Jackson.
Dante Jackson's a great defensive player. He has held Bohannon down in this game. You can see on the left side of your screen, he's shadowing Bohannon, who was the star of the game last night, and yet also he can score. Big-time player, number 25.
Jackson's first hoop, and it puts Xavier on top by 2. 35-33, under 12 to play. Naperville holds straight away. There's a double team by the Musketeers. Shot clock now at 5. Taylor hanging on a pivot, needs some help. Turns, just got it away and airballed it. Shot clock violation, and Xavier will have it, and a timeout. Musketeers working their way back little by little.
Dante Jackson in transition, square up. Good rotation, nothing but bottom.
Don't come to Boise unless you want to get a little rough. And Bob, I tell you, keep an eye on the foul situation between Wisconsin, Xavier, Krabbenhoff with 3, Musketeers, Brown and Love, both with 3 fouls. Freeze there with 2, and Holloway with a pair.
It's been so rough here, they're handing out Band-Aids to the fans. CJ.
And the rough play continues as Anderson took it strong, and there were 2 red jerseys right on top of him.
He's showing some versatility. Anderson is an inside player offensively. Right here, likes to bounce, wide, stays low, goes right into the contact, and yet at the other end of the floor, Craig, he's been defending an outside guard. He should get 4 free throws on this. Both of them got it.
Rob Wilson picked up the foul, his first. Anderson with the free throw. And CJ, Bob, after an 0 for 3 first half, now starting to get his offensive rhythm. 1 of 2 from the line, and the lead now is 3 for the Musketeers.
He had most of his points in the second half the other night against Portland State as well.
Wisconsin cold. They've lost or have been missing their last 7 from the floor.
Hughes back in.
Love was there to change that shot. Xavier now, Bob, instead of slowing the tempo, they're pushing.
They want that. Shoot before Wisconsin gets back. That's the best way to play against them.
Redford's a shooter. There's a great lob down low to Love. Triple team. Tries to break it, hang it up, lefty hook. No, rebound Naperville.
Trayvon Hughes has played very, very well, but he's 3 for 12 from the field, 8 of 9 from the free throw line. Struggling to get a good shot. Great D right here. I think that foul's going to be on Hughes right here.
That's a frustration foul after having his pocket picked.
Jackson, look at him again. I really admire Dante Jackson. 6'5" point guard, really does a lot of work at the defensive end. Not statistically, you know, but keeps people down. Doing a great job on Hughes right here. Plays with a smile on his face. Gotta love this guy.
Hughes goes to the bench with his 3rd foul. Taylor, the freshman, back on the court. And Bob, right now, someone else besides Trayvon Hughes has to step up for Wisconsin. Will it be Bohannon?
He's the likely candidate, except he's got Jackson on him.
Offensive foul. How about Nankiville holding his own down the lane, and the whistle on Derek Brown. That's 4 on Brown.
Nankiville took a charge yesterday, and it was his first charge of the season. Right here, he's getting used to this stuff. Sticking his chest right in there. They gave him a standing ovation on the Wisconsin bench when he took that charge yesterday. Said he didn't even take a charge when he was in high school.
Well, the coach, Bo Ryan, gave him a big hug. Like in baseball, once you get hit by that first pitch, you just got to dig yourself back in the box.
Right. Yankaville's a guy who can score, and there's your man Bohannon getting a clean one.
That was as clean as you'll get. 5 after hitting a quick 3 in the first half.
And he takes a charge at this end. Jackson on the handoff, bumped into Bohannon. Right here, he turns. He was trying to get the 3-point shot right there for Redford.
And Jackson picks up his 2nd. Dante with 2. Yeah, Redford is that 3-point shooter for Xavier. It's a 1-point lead. Wisconsin can take the lead if Bohannon can hit that shot. A little bit long and a rebound.
They're running stuff for him like before. They were running everything for Marcus Landry. They're trying to get Bohannon off here.
Raymond deep. No. Rebound on the other end. And up high on the ladder is Taylor. Jordan Taylor is the future for Wisconsin at the point. And what an athlete. Landry holds.
Watch away from the basket. Jackson chasing Bohannon around the floor.
Landry takes it right back in. Floater. 2 bounces. And down she goes. Landry answers with Hughes on the bench. And Wisconsin retakes the lead 37-36 with 9 minutes to play.
Play speeding up because legs are getting tired, and as a result, more difficult to play solid D as the game wears on.
Personal foul on Keaton Nankiville, his 2nd. There's a good look at Dante Jackson, sophomore from Greenfield, Ohio. Steals leader for this Musketeer team. Came in with 42. And the first one is away and good. And tonight on CBS, you'll be moved and inspired by what you see when the Amazing Race travels to India. Tonight on CBS, America's most watched network.
Well, we're going to have a race to the finish line in the last 9 minutes of this game. Tied up right here. Nobody giving an inch at the defensive end so far. You drive to the lane at your own peril.
Jackson willed that one in. 5 for Dante after being shut out in the first half. Under 9 minutes to play. Xavier by 1. And a foul by Holloway. Trying to grab the steal out front on the freshman. 2 freshmen battling, and Holloway picks up his 3rd.
A little unnecessary that far away from the basket. No shots, however. Krabenhoff back in the game as the facilitator. Big man who can pass. That's he with the ball.
And he passes down to Landry. Works his way in, hangs on a pivot, tough shot, blocked away. McLean got a clean swat. And across midcourt comes Holloway, wide open, watch out. And McLean again cleaned that basket. That's 2 big dunks for number 22.
He's got the elevator going. Very rare indeed you're going to get a shot like that against Wisconsin.
Bohannon back behind the 3-line, gives it up to Landry.
Notice the hand position on these guys. Trace the ball with your hand, try to prevent an easy pass, and then when he brings it down, get your hands down, your butt low, stay between him and the basket.
All about deflections. Put a hand in that passing lane. 7 on the shot clock. A little bit short. Nakerville had a good look. Xavier now pushing with a 3-point lead. Jackson to Holloway. Wrapped it around his back. Deep. 3 more. No. And a good block out by Landry.
Yeah, nice job there. They like that shot. That's Jackson's spot.
Taylor, low block. Nakerville turns, trying to kiss it off the glass, and the rebounds now with authority, and that one belongs again to McLean.
Boy, I tell you, he's showing some elevation in this game, isn't he? The transfer from Tulsa.
Xavier with a timeout. Timeout, Xavier. Musketeers go to the bench, up by 3. Defensive battle, and the feed down low, McLean. Welcome back to Boise, Idaho, East Region. Second round. The winner of this game moves on to Boston, the Sweet 16. Neither team, Bob, shooting the ball extremely well. Xavier 34%, Wisconsin at a 31% clip.
Well, you know, it's because they're such good defensive teams, and you've got to win when you don't shoot well. And, of course, the winner of this game is going to play the winner of Pittsburgh, a deliberate team, and Oklahoma State, a racehorse team.
That matchup is 1 versus 8. Here it's 4 against 12. Raymond. That ball is loose. Krabenhoff had it, but it rolls off, and here comes Trayvon Hughes back on the court. After a short break, he'll hand it to Bohannon. Blocked by Freeze.
They are doing a great job, knowledgeable about Bohannon as a threat. Switching out on him, the big man blocks this shot. Dante Jackson's been chasing him all over the floor. Freeze, get that thing!
And thank you, Greg. You talk about hanging tough. Wisconsin hanging tough with Xavier. Musketeers up by 3 with just 7 minutes to play, and the winner, of course, moves on to take on the winner of Pitt, Oklahoma State.
Big difference in this game so far is the 3-point shooting. Wisconsin made 9 the other day against Florida State, 2 for 11 in this game. The scouting report was switch all screens on Bohannon. They've done a great job on him. He was the star of the game the other day.
Bohannon inside the arc, hands it back out. Trayvon Hughes with a dribble, left hand, slides in. Left hand, try to spin it up, and a foul. And he went into the camera on the front row.
Does our guy get hazard duty pay for that?
That is hazard pay. Holloway, by the way, Bob, picks up his 4th.
Coming right into your living room is Trayvon Hughes, and he's going to get his chance at the free throw line, where he has been very, very good today. Only about 3 for 12 from outside, but because he's being guarded well on the perimeter, he's driving it to the basket with the bounce.
Hughes 8 of 9, make it 9 of 10 from the line, a 15-point second round game. He scored 10 in 39 minutes on Friday against Florida State.
Holloway in and out of this game. Has done a very, very good job in a backup role to Jackson as the point.
One more for the deadeye. 16 to lead Wisconsin. Landry with 12. And Xavier, Bob, they've done it by way of spreading the wealth around. Raymond with 8, Brown with 8. Oh, what a bucket.
What great hands by this kid. That's the 3rd play in this game, Craig, where a 7-footer catches the ball, gets slapped, and gets it up anyway. Nice pass, holds on to it with 2 hands. The terrific finish for that freshman. What a nice play, and 4 fouls. That is a problem for Wisconsin.
What's Bo Ryan do?
Well, I'll tell you what, a guy who's experienced as him, I would leave him in the game. If you take him out, you take him out for maybe a minute and put him right back in the game. He knows how to play with fouls, and when you're down, you don't want to get further down.
Three's just 48%.
Yeah, and that one didn't even touch iron.
It barely touched the net.
That's okay. They can live with that when he's done the positive things that he's done in this game.
Little smile. Hey, Coach, I promise I'll work on that in the offseason. Over the top to Landry. Right on him is McLean. And that forced a turnover. Xavier coming right back with B.J. Raymond.
Good help D on that one. Lots of white jerseys around Landry when he puts it on the floor in the paint.
Anderson goes baseline. Slides it inside. McLean!
Jumping out of the gym! What hops! His third dunk of the game!
First point scored today off a Wisconsin turnover.
Oh my goodness! And it was emphatic. Watch the bounce pass. Nice! Elbows up at the rim. Man, oh man, I'll tell you, the nice thing about this guy, he can play defense on a post player, so when Love or Freeze are in foul trouble, he's in there to take up the slack. Man, coming out parties.
Well, McLean, you could put just highlight reel action together just on McLean's buckets today. Missed the three-point try and over the back. That's Love.
McLean had a very good game earlier this year against Memphis. Had 11 points in that game against the very athletic Memphis Tigers. Sean Miller talking defense.
Six minutes to play. Wisconsin down by 5.
Trayvon Hughes out of the game right now.
And they give the ball to the freshman.
Landry's the answer here.
Taylor slips it out to Landry, hands it right back to Taylor. Bohannon's wide open out on the perimeter, but they're trying to work that ball down low.
I told you that's the answer there.
14 for Marcus Landry. Hey, if McLean can slam, Landry said, watch me. Three-point game. Jackson pops it. Free throw line jumper. A beauty.
The defense is not as good as it was in the first 30 minutes because the lactic acid in the legs doesn't let you do your defensive shuffle as well.
Bohannon.
The frequent substitutions also in the first half, helping right here in the second half for both teams. Guys have energy.
Bohannon again holds with 5:05 to play.
They are so aware of his presence.
Landry slides it down into the paint. Nankiville, tough shot. How about a three-footer? Like to have that one back. But again, the tenacious D by Xavier.
Nice D. McLean needs a blow.
Anderson in traffic, dribbled it right off his foot. Who touched it last? And we're coming back the other way. And Bob, catching our breath, Xavier up by 5. Both teams struggling because of the tough defense. Three-point shots may just be the difference maker in this game.
Well, I think that's the key stat, really. 2 for 11 is pathetic on the part of Wisconsin. They were very good last night. They made 9 2 nights ago, excuse me. Hughes has been very good scoring from the free throw line, but not from the field. The switching defense of Xavier has been very, very good in this game. Look at that help.
Wide
Look at
open.
that challenge.
Bohannon.
It's a challenge.
Had the shot, Bob couldn't drop it.
Love was out there challenging. Big difference when you challenge a shot and when you don't. The man, Raymond. He is used to taking big shots. Last year, big time against West Virginia, and vital right here.
Timeout, Wisconsin. And the three-point shot, the difference maker. Raymond throws down a dagger with 4:16 to play. Musketeers 49 and the Badgers 41 on CBS. Xavier owns the largest lead of this game by 8, 49-41, and a moment ago, B.J. Raymond lines up and drops the three.
Well, nobody up on him, a late hand up, but you get there late on B.J. Raymond, and you can count it, my friend.
And Bob, the first Musketeer to score double figures in this round 2 battle with Wisconsin. Raymond with 11.
They're balanced.
Landry goes down low. Little pump. Slides behind the back. Plenty of time. 4 minutes to play. Back on the court is Hughes. Shot short. Follows. Landry tried to save it and actually hit his teammate. Xavier will have possession. Timeout. 3:54 to play. Down the stretch in Boise.
One is hunting CSIs.
Where's Wolf? He wasn't picking up.
3:54 to play. Second half here in Boise. Round 2 between Wisconsin and Xavier. Bob, some foul troubles. Hughes with 4. Krabenhoff 3. You look at Xavier, 3 players with Brown, Love, and Holloway with 4 apiece. 3-point shooting, another big factor in this game. How about Bohannon's got to come through down the stretch run for Wisconsin. He had 4 of 8 in the first game Friday night. Today, 1 of 5, and that 3-point shot was early in the first half.
The 3-point shooting is the factor in this game that is making Xavier win. 2 for 11 for Wisconsin in this game. 2 for 12, excuse me, for Wisconsin in this game. That is the reason that Xavier has the lead.
Jackson out behind the perimeter to Anderson.
And it's not that they've shot poorly. All of those shots have been challenged well. Give high marks to Xavier's defense.
And the Musketeers now trying to burn some clock. 3.5 to play, 10 on the shot clock. Out front, Raymond. He'll pop it deep straight away. Kicks off the back of the iron, and the battle for the rebound is won by Landry.
If you are Xavier, you should not be concerned about the clock right now. Just play the way you're playing. Wisconsin has to hurry up now. That is not in their bag of tricks much. They are not a team that likes to score early in the shot clock, so this is difficult for them right here.
Bob, costly turnover. Hughes was caught down on the baseline, tried to clear it out to Bohannon. And again, Xavier, give this team credit. They've had a hand up all day.
All day. If you took a picture of all the Wisconsin shots, there was always a hand up by Xavier.
And how about Krabenhoff's hand? Rejected that shot. He'll try to take it into the front court. He does. Back out front, Landry.
Landry should go on the bounce here. Pick and pop to Landry. Let him go.
Wide open. Puts it on the floor around Freeze. Challenges. Lost it. The ball falls over to Jarmus. Got it for 3. And Wisconsin is still breathing in Boise.
Don't count your apples yet, baby. A lot of action yet to go here.
Hughes tried to chase that down and pick the pocket of Jackson.
I don't like the holding the ball deal here. You take the air out of your own offense. Keep playing.
On the lob, Freeze broke away. Count it.
Great hands again. The 4th time the big man has got hit hard and still controlled the basketball. Very, very impressive for a 7-foot freshman. Watch, he gets slapped on the arm, still follows through to the basket. Freeze, an adventure at the free throw line, but I'll tell you what, he's good close to the basket.
Krabenhoff picks up his 4th foul, and Bob, he was able to separate himself away from Landry, who got bent over and couldn't recover back.
Yeah, indeed. And I'll tell you what, Freeze has been so impressive, hasn't he? I'll tell you, on the season, 48%, mostly on shots like that. I admire the way Sean Miller has rotated his post guys. Freeze and Love as the power guys, and then both of them out, and McLean comes in to be the quick guy who jumps out of the gym.
Well, they're going to have to bring Krabenhoff, and they do, to the bench. Looks like he's got blood, took a shot to the chin.
Well, as I mentioned at halftime, they hand out Band-Aids to the fans in this game. It's been so rough.
You took a stitch.
Oh, that loose ball, that's right.
All right, can Freeze put one down for the free throw line? Airballed the last one, and this time hit it a little strong off the iron. Bohannon the rebound.
Well, at least he made an adjustment, didn't he?
Wisconsin with 2 minutes on the clock and down 51-44. Hughes on the court with 4 fouls.
Look at this switching.
Jarmus. Landry pops it deep. 3 short. Well, the legs have gone empty here for Wisconsin. And they're wrestling for the rebound on the baseline. Tied up. Brown was tied up by Taylor, and Taylor picks up his 2nd.
I am so impressed, Craig, with the way that Xavier challenges shots. I know I've said this, but you get your hand up on things, and that really changes the deal. Free throws, not so great for Xavier. They get there a lot, but they don't make them at any good kind of pace, only 67%.
Well, that's staggering. 17th in the country, 228th made.
Yeah. You know, one of my former assistants was Jeff Van Gundy, and when he was the coach of the Knicks, he told me that he would fine players if they didn't put their hand up on a shot on the perimeter. And you can't find college players, but somewhere Sean Miller has gotten his guys to do that very, very well. It makes a huge difference. Not something you can point to statistically, but I'll tell you what, when you look at the missed threes in this game by Wisconsin, it's because the Musketeers were up on them.
Brown again, that's 10 double figures for Derek Brown. Taylor is out. And Krabenhoff comes right back in. A hard foul as Hughes went up strong with the left hand.
Hughes' instinct is to take the ball to the basket, and he's done it very, very well in this game, getting to the free throw line, but his shots inside have been challenged and knocked away. Not anything easy against the guys in the white jerseys.
And Bob Brown fouls out with 10 points just after making those last 2 free throws. And so Xavier's going to huddle up. Sean Miller will take a moment to find a substitution.
Well, his problem right here is he's going to be pressed, and he needs ball handling in the game, but Holloway is going to come back in, so you're going to have 2 point guards in the game. That's what you want. Holloway was sitting on the sideline with 4, so he'll be the guy that I expect comes in here.
1:33 to play, and it's a 53-44 Xavier lead.
Well, we put up that graphic about the free throw shooting, and of course that's the situation that Xavier will face the rest of this game. Wisconsin will try to get 5-second counts, will try to steal the ball, but foul to stop the clock.
Hughes 10 of 11 in this game from the line. Ooh, that one hurt.
Derek Brown, he's smiling. He's feeling he's going to Boston.
Xavier made it to the Elite 8 last year. Hughes the second. That's 17 in this game.
They made it to the Elite 8 by beating Georgia, by beating Purdue, and by beating West Virginia, and lost to the UCLA Bruins, who made it to the Final Four.
Raymond weaving his way through the Badger defense, just trying to chew up some clock, and a bump and a foul on Krabenhoff, and that's 5 on Joe Krabenhoff.
Remember, we showed you that statistic about the poor free throw shooting, only 67%, but B.J. Raymond's smart enough to know he's the guy who can make them. He's at 80, and he handled the ball.
Rugged minutes for Krabenhoff, did not score, took only 2 shots. And a senior, and for the final time, Bob's going to walk off a floor. I know it's an emotional moment for many players, and the head is down.
Well, he's had a great career, and they made it to the NCAA tournament this year, due in large part to his hustle and defense and rebounding.
Raymond connects from the line. Now the threes are going to fly. That one comes off the back of the rim by Hughes. Put it back up. And Landry will find his way to the free throw line. And here in the final minute and 11. 3 on Dante. Landry, a senior bomb out of Milwaukee. Second team All Big Ten.
He's had a terrific, terrific career and a great year. Best interior player on this team. He's got a great one-on-one moves. Only 6'7", unusual size for his game.
At that next level, you just label him as a tweener. And makes 2. That's 16 for Landry. Backcourt pressure applied by the Badgers. Holloway tries to break it. Baseline is shut down on a block. Tim Jarmus gave up the body, didn't he?
He gave up the body. He gave up Holloway's body also. This has been a recurring theme. Knocked him right into our cameraman again.
I tell you, Robert's been taking a beating. Like that old Timex watch. You know, it takes a beating but keeps on ticking.
Robert's going to ask if he can go to the other end of the floor for the next game.
Holloway at the line. 78% on the season. He'll fire up his first of the day. And rolls it in. Holloway. And Bob, time for today's Chevrolet Players of the Game. Trayvon Hughes, 17 for Wisconsin, and B.J. Raymond, 13 points, 4 rebounds for Xavier.
It's so hard to find a guy on Xavier's team to be the Chevy Player of the Game because they're so balanced. Dante Jackson's defense was great. Jamel McLean was a great addition in this game. 3 dunks. Terrific balance on this team.
A minute to play. Landry shot off the mark. Rebound Xavier. Backcourt pressure, and Landry reaches in and fouls Dante Jackson. Third personal on Landry.
Well, Wisconsin was one of those teams who felt like they were lucky to get into this tournament, but they really accorded themselves well, won their first game, and then battled. A lot to admire in this team. And, of course, Xavier has been here before, as you mentioned, last year in the Elite 8. And they will advance to Boston. And I'll tell you what, they do it with balance, and they do it with a terrific rebounding team and a team that cares a great deal about the defensive end of the floor.
This team, of course, based out of Cincinnati, Xavier University, only 6,700 enrollment. But boy, they are a perennial NCAA tournament team, and they don't make appearances, they go deep.
Yeah, in 04 and 08 to the Elite 8.
Bohannon just not there today. Landry continues to battle, throws up his 18th point and a foul. And a timeout. Timeout. 45 seconds to play in Boise. Final 45 ticks here in Boise, East Region, second round. Xavier pulling away Bob in the second half. Physical game from the opening tip-off.
It's been great. I'll tell you, sometimes you see low-scoring games and you see they're not entertaining. This one, to me, was very entertaining. Physical on both parts, as you said. Lots of good plays by a lot of guys. Excitement. McLean gave us a lot of dunks in this game. And, of course, a 12 seed playing right here against a 4 seed, and they really played tough.
As you would expect, Bo Ryan's club continues to be tenacious on the defensive end, trying to grab a turnover. Landry flew in high, and that ball is out of bounds. And Xavier will have it with 35 seconds. It was 27-25, Bob Wenzel, at the break. Wisconsin by 2.
And they started the second half very well indeed. But Xavier came back because of the great defense and not allowing the three-point shot to be a factor. And then, of course, B.J. Raymond stepped up big time.
Raymond weaving his way through a sea of red.
He wants to get fouled. He does not want to give it up to somebody who can't make free throws.
Jason Love wants to get back in this game with 16 seconds to play. And at the line goes Raymond with a 13-point afternoon. That equals his output in round 1 against Portland State.
He has a great stroke from deep three-point range and then also 80% from the free throw line. No joy in Mudville for these guys. They had a good year. They finished 8-3 before this game. Had a part of the season where they lost 6 straight, then won 5 straight, and then were up and down the rest of the time.
Well, Bob, Wisconsin wins 20, and many didn't think they'd get there. There's a long 3, wouldn't go. Rebound, one more time. Bohannon just not there. Final seconds ticking down. Bohannon fires into the front court. Final shot here in Boise. No, it's over. And Xavier moves on to the Sweet 16. Boston, here they come.